It's begun.
What's that?
The Lotus are using the orb to rid themselves of corruption. The dragon was right.
But you said the orb doesn't matter.
Their belief gives it power. We have to hurry.
What's up guys, welcome back, Alex here from Game Therapy, and this time we have Zymeth that is using the orb, no doubt. If we besiege his forces, he should show himself. Once we kill Zymeth, this should all be over.
Over there.
Those three dots at the end of the sentence give a feeling of a to be continued sentence. And it's for a good reason, I guess. Looks like we already have a confrontation with the Lotus. As good as first impressions can get. Anyways, like I mentioned in the previous map, this map is going to be stacked with huge amounts of Lotus units and buildings. We don't have much of a choice for a place to build our base at, so we shall make do with what we have. Now that we are gone through the acceptance phase, let's get to building, but unlike the previous map, I need to start pushing unit training. Okay, so if you look at the map, we have these sections that are separated by water. We are occupying the left section, the other three sections are occupied by the Lotus. And that huge surface on the right is like the grand base of the Lotus, where in a fitting way Zymeth resides.
Right, yes.
Now, all the upper narrow passage is as I would refer to as a passage of death, and that's because A, there are patrolling units there all the time, and B, there are many watchtowers along the passage. I did go through the trouble once building a minimal base at the upper right corner, because I wanted to invest all my firepower on one side of the base. It worked, by the way, it's just that you need to have a remote peasant hut that collects resources. Kind of the same principle I went with in Serpent home.
I follow the dragon.
Certainly.
Okay, so far so good. Looks like I haven't been interrupted with building by any significant force.
Yes.
I've placed that watchtower right by the water because that is the connecting point between my base and theirs. As you can see, they have a watchtower not too far from me, and they mobilize some meat to attack me with. It would be a real bummer if they would build any type of training ground or a watchtower by the water on the other side. So I prefer to prevent a disaster and keep the radius of the passage clear.
Focused and steady. It shall be.
Now those dragon warriors are just perfect to send into training for samurais. I can't resist the temptation. I'm hesitant about the power cake though. I'm not sure if I should take him with me or to turn him into a samurai. Now what's left is the town square. And I need a lot of water for it, so I'll have to double time the water fetching. It's funny how the warlocks are extra effective against the samurais when they keep their distance, while the samurais can murder them in close quarters combat. I guess it was done to just balance the game a bit.
Yes, master.
I move.
All right. Yes, Lord. Yes. Moving for the dragon. The servant obey.
Oh, they are trying really hard to lure me, even using Isel to do the job, which is perfect for it, by the way.
I go.
Agreed.
Had enough of you, Isel.
I move.
Yes.
Town square coming up.
Yes, sir.
On target. Certainly. On target.
Don't worry, I won't use fire
To the
arrows
mine
this
and
time,
seek the target.
but I will still break some trees. Now that the town square is ready, let's design our defense with the watchtowers.
Yes.
The most effective way to build watchtowers, in my opinion, is in a closed
Target
shape,
found.
in a square or a rectangular shape, if you will. That way, every watchtower will act as a vertex of the shape and consequentially be in a closed loop that look after each other.
Lead the way.
The mind is focused. Dragon, guide my arrows. Target found. The mind is focused.
Yes. Going.
Focused and steady. Dragon, guide my arrows. The mind is focused. Dragon, guide my arrows.
Before I finish building my defensive perimeter, I'm going to build a keep
I
since
follow
it
the
is
dragon.
available already.
Yes. Right. Yes.
With bow in hand. Target found. It shall be. I have focused.
For the clan!
Can't say I feel very confident when I get attacked on two fronts.
Over there.
Certainly.
I'm going.
Okay,
I'm
so
here.
you probably figured out that if I put the keep in my building priority list, I'm doing it to get Ara as soon as possible. Thing is, I think you might like the idea of how I'm going to use her in this map. The
On
plan is to
target.
get her in front of the watchtower that is between the bases. From there, I want to take her huge firing range into my advantage by luring Lotus units towards
Yes.
me and getting rid of them. There are a couple of things I want to achieve by
I
these
follow the
actions.
dragon.
First of all, it's a great way to earn Yank points without
Yes,
casualties.
sir.
Second, I want to leave their base as defenseless as I can, so that when it's time, I'll have an easier access to it. And the third reason is to minimize as much as I can any surprise attacks from any directions.
Going.
It can work because when I'll put Ara into action, she will be the only one that will show aggression, meaning
With
she
bow
takes
in
all the
hand,
fire upon
On
herself.
target.
Yes. I'm going.
Okay, let's build our third watchtower and have a spirit head formation.
Yes, sir. Yes.
I can't see too much of a potential threat, so I guess I shall deploy Ara as planned, and let the magic do its thing. You can see it already gets their attention slowly, but the real chaos will begin when I'll hit any kind of their buildings long enough. That is actually what triggers enemy units into action.
Easy target.
I'm going to keep using Aura that way until at least I can research Arrow's craftsmanship.
Focused and steady.
Now we can have our fourth watchtower and close the loop.
I sense the enemy. I hear.
I probably shouldn't get too risky getting out with Aura like that.
Moving.
Yes, sir. For the dragon.
To the target.
Yes, Lord. For the dragon.
We have our fires. The arrow flies.
With bow in hand.
I sense your purpose. Lead the way.
Well, someone got angry.
Straight and true.
The wind is against you.
There is no way that one peasant can outbuild what Ara can damage. Now at long last I can have Arrow's craftsmanship.
Kenji. In your debt. I understand.
Certainly. On target. With
Now that I
bow
feel
in
more
hand.
confident with my forces, I'm going to slowly intrude into their
Certainly.
bases. Let's try doing it in a way that will help me go through it with the least number of casualties. You can say that after destroying the watchtower at the entrance, I have a foothold.
I'm
Not a
moving.
firm foothold, but at least
Yes.
something. The only way I can think of doing it without casualties is to send a rather small
The
number of
servant
units
obeys.
and try to hold the place until I send more units to back them.
Yes, Lord.
That way I might stop them from developing too much on that third base and take my time to prepare for the last one.
Moving. Okay.
On target.
Yes. Moving. The servant obeys.
With bow in hand.
My trees.
Like an arrow.
Okay, let's put our plan into gear.
Yes, Lord. For the dragon. Feeble.
On target. Focused and steady.
I'm going. Moving.
Now that we have entered their territory, we can slowly build ourselves.
I have focus.
Now let's work by the same principle we worked on the previous map. On the previous map we had a maximum population of 40. On this map we have 50, but still it doesn't add up with what the Lotus have. So again, I'm going to build a bunch of peasant huts to try to compensate the numbers of the Lotus Clan with the speed of my unit
understand.
production.
With bow in hand.
I'll be honest, I'm a little bit surprised that they even attacked me. More so from behind, because I'm kind of keeping the pressure on them. So I don't know where they got the units from. But they don't really pose a threat. I'm just going to send Kenji and
I have
he'll deal
focus.
with them without any trouble. Okay, I see that I haven't missed much, but it looks like they make little progress with their buildings. So I might consider bringing Kazan to torch their buildings. That way it will go
Servant
much faster.
obeys.
But I do see that I need Zen accuracy. It's not that my units cannot deal with theirs, on the contrary. It looks like my units deal with them fairly easily. It's just that damage is like money. You can never have too much. Meanwhile, I'm going to summon two ninjas. Since the tactic of intruding the enemy was very effective on the previous map, to say the least, well, at least from my perspective, I'm going to do the same on this map as well. The way I'm going to use them is to send one of them to the top passage, this death passage I've mentioned earlier, and scout the area with him. And the second ninja will be used as the eyes of Ara's and Kazan's group. I'm going to mark buildings with him, and that way I shall move to an area that I know is populated, instead of wandering around and wasting time. Now there is one problem with the ninja that I'm going to send to the top. If I proceed too far with him, I can trigger Zymeth's monologue. Doing this isn't really in my best interest, to be honest. And that's because whenever he starts speaking, it will start raining.
Right. Yes. Done. Right. Yes. There. Yes. There.
Certainly.
What now?
I'm going.
I hear.
For the dragon. Moving.
Who's next?
Target eliminated.
Right, I'm going. Yes.
Of course. I'm burning.
Thank you.
Yin and yang.
My bow is strong.
Of course. Leaves.
By the way, this map is really not optimized for samurais.
Right.
I highly recommend not to build parties that consist entirely from samurais. The amount of explosive damage on this map is unreal.
Done.
Loads of warlocks and watchtowers. Enough said.
Done. Right. There. Done.
Okay, we shall circle around with the ninja to make sure that I haven't missed anything in this area.
I sense your purpose. To the target. Guide my way. I understand.
I'm going. Of course.
Goddamn poison.
I'm burning.
Most high.
Bow in hand.
Oh boy, they have sent Coral. That's bad news for me.
The servant will obey.
Samurai just decided to ditch me.
For the dragon. Yes, Lord.
What a mess. I did not expect that turn of events.
Certainly.
Light and fight!
I hear.
Let's put Ara in the back of the group for now to use her as a shield for the archers.
Yes, Lord.
Hope is not lost though, I can still make it.
The servant obeys. Yes.
Sizzling!
Kazan can be a real damage sponge. I should put him in the back with Ara for the time being until reinforcements arrive.
There. Yes. Right.
Hot on the trail!
Yes, sir.
Done. Right. There. Right. Done. Right. Done. There. Yes. There. Done. Right. Yes.
Target eliminated.
Face your master. Yes, Lord.
Well, it wasn't intimidating as I thought it would be. Defense
Lead the
squad
way.
did great.
Moving.
Yes. Yes,
One
sir.
thing that annoys me in this map is the lack of
Yes.
forces. Normally you would
Yes,
think that in your last confrontation
Yes.
you need to
All
use
right.
all the tools at your disposal. But not here, man. Not in Battle
Hold your
Realms.
horses! On target.
Right. Done. Right. Done. Yes. There. Yes. There. Right. Yes. There. Done.
Yes.
By the way, Tao can be really useful in the last phase of the map. Like Kazan, he can be a bullet sponge, especially if you tag a geisha to him.
Done. Yes, sir.
There. Right. Done.
Did I mention that the bases are well fortified
Right.
yet?
Yes.
Hey, that's inappropriate, man.
The servant obeys.
Feels like I'm ready for the second round.
Yes. Yes. I'm going. The servant obeys. Yes.
Yes.
Certainly.
I love it how they drop before they even reach me.
No! Yes, Lord. For the dragon.
Forward is not backward.
I understand.
My bow is strong.
Guide my way.
Let's try the same tactic I have used against their first base.
I follow.
I have focus.
I understand.
Kazan can be much more troublesome than Ara when it comes to buildings. They will need to put out the fire before repairing the buildings. That complicates things.
Burn, baby, burn! I'm after them! Of course! I'm going! Cooking!
Oh, I haven't noticed that Coril and Diesel attacked me. And as usual, Coril bails out.
Take them down! Light and fight!
Guide my way.
Okay, let's move in a little and set up cover for Kazan to do his thing.
Forward is not backward. Take them down! Ready to burn! Cooking! Burn, baby, burn! Of course.
I promise I will try to be less preservative towards my units and let them loose a bit more when I shall play with the Serpent. It's just that I got used to playing cautiously.
There.
Yes. Around and around.
I sense your purpose.
Hey, come down.
I follow the dragon. All right. The servant
Coral is
obeys.
trying to split again. No chance my samurais will allow that to happen.
Moving. The servant obeys.
Certainly.
Right.
Burn, baby, burn.
Let's light those watchtowers first. Decreasing the amount of potential threats towards my units is crucial in this map, unless I just want to stand around and wait for more trained units to arrive, that is.
Fire me up. Sizzling. I'm after them. I'm burning.
My bow is
I'm smoking. I'm going. Sizzling. Cooking.
The path is the way.
with bow in hand. Certainly. With bow in hand.
Hey, come down.
The beauty of a burning building, and the peasant that fails to extinguish it.
Burn, baby, burn.
Yes.
Certainly. I have focus.
I hear.
With bow in hand.
Over there.
By the way, if you're asking why I'm leaving so many units in the base, well, you will see soon enough.
Yes, Lord.
Cooking. I'm smoking.
Right. Yes.
Hot on the trail.
Poor guys got ambushed.
Certainly.
All right. Right. I'm going. Yes. All right.
Fast like fire.
Lead the way.
On target.
The path is the way.
Burn, baby, burn.
Damn, I got too close to the watchtower. RIP Samurai Geisha and an archer. Told you that they could be really lethal.
I'm after them.
Done.
I'm going.
I sense your purpose.
I follow the dragon.
Yes.
Okay, let's take a few steps with the ninja and see what happens.
Right. Yes. Done.
At last, free of corruption. Now I am whole.
Well, as I promised you, he made the sky rain. And that by itself is a problem, not to mention Zymeth that is moving around while it rains.
Done. Right. Done.
I'm burning, sizzling. Of course.
The problem I have with the rain is that Kazan can't be very effective as of now. He cannot effectively light buildings up and let them burn to crisp.
Fire me up.
But the contingency plan is or rather are, the chemists. They don't rely on fire damage. They do rely on explosives though. Both are effective against buildings, but explosive damage isn't as affected by rain, as far as I know.
Moving.
That is where the 5 chemists that I trained come into the picture. Now I have 1 with Kazan, so I have 6 altogether. I have lost a geisha before, so I'm going to include her in the party of the 5 chemists and get her from the base as well.
Yes. I follow. Going. Lead the way. Moving. Lead the way.
5 chemists should be enough to handle the buildings there.
Yes.
But let's bring Ara to actually deal with the Warlock Master.
Understand. Straight and true.
Oh yes! Hot on the trail! Oh yes! Hot on the trail!
What was he shooting at? Oh, I shouldn't have looked.
I follow. I hear. Guide my way.
I am blessed. Thank you.
Not as dangerous as I thought after all.
Left is right, right is wrong.
Well, there is only one place that I can go from here. Now it's time to face Zymeth and
Forward
put an end
is
to
not
him.
backward.
Right. Yes. There. Done.
Now, why am I scared of Zymeth while it rains? The answer lies within his skill. You see, his skill actually makes it rain as he demonstrated earlier in his monologue,
Right.
but the key of his skill is the lightning that comes down from the sky to hit enemy units that come close to him. It's the same lightning that hits you from the watchtowers. I'm not sure if it has the same damage output though. I never checked. But you absolutely shouldn't approach him with a samurai, hands down. To deal with him in his current form, you might want to be equipped with units that have resistance to explosives and magic, though he is weak to piercing damage now, and as it so happens, archers are piercing damage units.
The path is the way. Forward is not backward.
Thing is, in his base form that is playable in the skirmish, Zymeth has 750 hit points. The current form is unplayable, it's there only for the purpose of being a boss in Kenji's journey, and as a showcase of the effect of the Serpent's orb. In this form, his HP is doubled and has increased resistances and damage. What I'm trying to say by all that is, don't take this guy lightly.
Yes. The path is the way. Yes.
Yes. Okay. I hear. Lead the way.
There.
Meditation might come into use soon enough.
There. Right. Done. There. Done. Yes.
Yes, Lord.
Fire! Fire!
Forward is not backward. I'm going. I'm turning. Of course.
Oh yes! Fast like fire!
Okay.
Around and around.
Go.
Hot on the trail!
I sense your purpose.
Forward is not backward.
Hold your horses!
I follow. Moving.
The path is the way.
Hot on the trail! Yep!
Okay, let's just send the chemists to deal with all those houses. They are the best for these kinds of jobs.
Hot on the trail.
Forward is not backward. Yes. The path is the way.
Yes.
It shall be.
Burn them all.
Around and around.
Oh boy, I did the same mistake again.
Forward is not backward.
Did you just see that? The lightning hit Tao and it didn't even phase him.
Oh yes.
Yep, I can smell victory drawing closer.
I have focused. On target.
Right. Done.
You tell, I go. Hot on the trail.
Of course.
I follow
Let's
the
get
dragon.
those peasants to do something useful.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yes. You tell, I go. Oh yes.
Moving.
The path is the way.
Hot on the trail. Fast like fire. Fast like fire.
Tao is just standing there and taking all the punishment like a pro.
Around and around.
on the trail.
Oh, His Majesty came all the way down to greet me.
Their time is over. So is yours. Look!
What are you?
I am the Nightvol. I am the dark.
You and your kind died centuries ago. Tyrant killed you.
I am always here. Forget the orb. Become the dragon.
Okay, so Zymeth is dead and we have the Horde, the Dragon Clan's legendary foe, still lives and comes to infest our land. If we survive their attacks long enough, it should draw out their leader, this Nightvol. Killing that monster is our goal. Let me introduce you to the improved Kenji. Probably the strongest character as long as he maintains this form, of course. Like Zymeth, he has boosted damage, HP and resistances. He is actually not the character I'm worried about. I'm more concerned about Kazan, Ara and the others, because Kenji can take care of himself. Now in this phase of the map we need to play the waiting game, where I need to sit tight until the Nightvol appears. I'm sure that if people that went through the game will watch me playing through this map, will wonder why I bothered destroying so many buildings before Zymeth died. Thing is, when Zymeth dies and the Nightvol appears with his horde, the horde becomes hostile towards the remaining forces of the Lotus. And that creates a problem. If the horde is starting to attack the Lotus along with the Nightvol, he can get lost and I might have trouble finding him. But now that everything is destroyed, the only option he has is to step up towards my base or my army. Now these little guys might not be too strong, but their strength is in their numbers, as their name implies. So at first you have a small amount of units rushing towards you, but after a while you will get swarmed.
Yes. The dragon.
Now you should see why I researched meditation before. I need it for this part of the map because the geishas can kick the bucket really fast.
Is the way.
Sizzling! On target.
I hear. Yes.
And this is the part where Tao proves himself to be a good choice to bring with you towards the end of the map.
All hail the dragon!
The darkness will always be out there, trying to make us afraid. But we'll hide no longer. We face the future, a united land. I am Kenji, Lord of the Dragon Clan. It's time to make the shadows afraid.
Okay, we finished it! It was as much of a journey for me as it was for Kenji. I really enjoyed it, a lot of respect for the people who created it. Thank you so much for an amazing game. I really hope that at least some of you found something interesting in that walkthrough or just enjoyed watching a legendary game as a bang from the past that unfortunately did not get the love that it deserves and consequentially did not get the sequel it was supposed to get. Anyways, thank you for joining me, thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'm Alex and I'll see you guys on the next one.